There's this really specific kind of anxiety that comes with digital security now. It's not the fear of the unknown anymore. It's the fear of the familiar.
Oh, yeah.
We used to worry about some strange link from a prince in a spam email.
Right.
Now we have to worry about the tools we actually install to keep us safe.
It is the call is coming from inside the house moment for the entire industry.
Exactly. You use a VPN to hide your traffic, but the link you click to download it might be a trap. You use remote support software, but that software creates a back door for somebody else. It feels like the shields themselves are becoming weapons. Welcome to Coding.
Today is. It's less about just bugs and patches, and more about a fundamental shift in how we verify reality online. We're going to look at how attackers are weaponizing our trust in brands, in software, even how nations are losing trust in the global cloud.
We've got a heavy, but I think essential session ahead. We'll start on the consumer side with a huge investigation into Typosquatting, targeting VPN users. And this isn't just about mistyping a URL.
No, not at all.
It's about a sophisticated network that is, well, statistically likely to compromise your banking data.
Then we're going to pivot to the enterprise. We need to break down two critical situations happening right now.
Right.
A near maximum severity bug in BeyondTrust, and a really fascinating active campaign hitting SolarWinds.
SolarWinds. That name just never seems to leave the headlines, does it?
It has a way of sticking around. And finally, we'll zoom out to the geopolitical stage. Europe is moving billions, literally billions of dollars into sovereign cloud infrastructure. We need to unpack why and why it might be a logistical nightmare.
Let's get into it. The VPN story, I think, is the perfect place to start because this hits the person who thinks they're doing everything right.
Right, the privacy-conscious user.
Yeah, we all know typosquatting.
Yeah.
You try to type Amazon.com, miss a letter, land on a page full of ads. It's annoying, but is it really a threat?
Historically, it was mostly a nuisance, but today, it's a targeted weapon. There was this major investigation that looked specifically at the landscape for VPN's virtual private networks. Now, think about the user's intent there. If you are typing Proton VPN or NordVPN into your browser, you're already signaling that you care about privacy. You probably have something to protect.
You're a high-value target by definition. You're not looking for cat videos. You're looking for encryption.
Precisely. The investigation identified over 980 of these look-alike domains.
Wait, 980?
Yep, mimicking the top 5 players. NordVPN, Proton VPN, Surfshark, ExpressVPN, and private internet access.
That is not a couple of kids in a basement. That's industrial scale. But when you say look-alike, are we just talking about obvious misspellings?
That's the catch. It's not just missing a letter. We're seeing homoglyphs and visual tricks. Attackers know that on a high-res screen, or even worse, a mobile screen, your eye just glosses over the details. So they might swap the letter O for a 0, or use R and an N to look like an M. So Proton VPN might have a subtle change you'd never notice.
Or they add words that sort of lull you into a false sense of security, right? I've seen that.
Exactly. Social engineering baked right into the URL. They'll register nordvpn-support-dot.com or log in expressvpn-dot.com. If you're having an issue, your brain just says, oh, that's where I need to go. You trust the word support.
So what happens when you click? Is it just ads for toaster ovens?
I wish. The investigation found that about 14% of these domains were actively malicious.
Okay, so what does malicious mean here?
Well, it's a spectrum. At the low end, you have adware. Annoying, but, survivable. Then phishing pages. But the most dangerous part, and this is what really stood out, were the copycat storefronts.
This is the part that actually worries me. These are like fully functional websites.
They are pixel-perfect replicas. They scrape everything from the real vendor. You land on the page, you see the pricing, you see the sign-up button. You enter your credit card info to buy a year of privacy protection.
And instead, you've just handed your full name, billing address, and credit card number directly to a criminal syndicate.
You're paying for the privilege of being robbed. It's the ultimate irony. You're literally buying theft.
And the attacks weren't random, right? The data showed Proton VPN was facing the worst of it.
Yeah, the most aggressive ratio of threats. Not the highest volume, necessarily. The big names like Nord and Express had more fake domains just because they have more traffic. Big fish, big pond.
Right.
But Proton had a nasty distinction. 29% of the fake domains targeting them were malicious.
Nearly 1 in 3. So if you mistype Proton, you have a 30% chance of landing in a minefield.
It's a staggering hit rate.
So what the discrepancy? I think the report said private internet access, or PIA, only had, 4 dangerous domains targeting them?
It's likely a mix of market share and maybe user demographics. Proton has a specific reputation based in Switzerland, heavy focus on encryption. It's used by journalists, activists.
People with more valuable data to steal.
Could be. Attackers might see that user base as a richer target. If you compromise a journalist's credentials, that's worth more than just my credit card number.
So beyond just typing carefully, what's the actual defense here? Because if I'm tired, N0RDVPN looks a lot like NordVPN.
The vendors are trying to help. ExpressVPN, for example, has defensively registered at least 22 common misspellings to redirect you to safety.
Like putting guardrails on a winding road.
Exactly. But they can't buy every single permutation, so it really does fall to the user.
That's the advice then.
It's surprisingly low tech. First, don't trust search engines for navigation. If you Google NordVPN login, the first 3 results might be sponsored ads bought by these very attackers.
We've seen that with crypto wallets. The ads are the trap.
Yes. So verify the URL once, check the little lock icon, check the spelling character by character, and then bookmark it. Never type it in again.
That's a great tip. And use a password manager.
Yes. If your password manager doesn't offer to autofill on the site, that is a huge red flag. It means the domain doesn't match what's in your vault. It's like a canary in the coal mine.
Okay, let's shift gears. We're moving from the consumer to the IT admin trying to protect the entire company. We have 2 major stories here, and they both revolve around the keys to the kingdom kind of tools.
Right. We're talking about identity security and IT help desk software. These tools have admin privileges by design. If you break into these, you don't just get a room key, you get the master key for the whole building.
Let's start with BeyondTrust. Massive name and privileged access management. What went wrong there?
A textbook nightmare scenario. This is CVE 2026-1731. It affects their remote support and privileged remote access products, and the severity score is a 9.9 out of 10.
A 9.9. That almost always means remote code execution without authentication. Is that what we have here?
That is exactly the case. It's an OS command injection vulnerability. Basically, an attacker can send a specially crafted network packet to the BeyondTrust appliance, and it just runs their code at the operating system level.
No username, no password. I just need to find the server on the internet.
Correct. If the interface is exposed to the web, it's game over. You don't need credentials if you can trick the server into running your commands before it even asks for them.
That explains the 9.9. How widespread is this exposure?
Well, researchers found about 11,000 instances exposed online. Now, to be fair to BeyondTrust, they did push a patch on February 2nd. If you're on their cloud version, you're probably fine.
But the danger is the on-premise deployments. The servers in the company basement.
Right. About 8,500 of those 11,000 are on-prem. That means 8,500 IT admins need to stop what they're doing, download that patch, and apply it. If they haven't, they are just sitting ducks.
And these tools are designed to bridge the gap between the internet and the secure internal network.
That's their job. Compromising one is an immediate pivot point for ransomware.
So if you're listening and you run BeyondTrust on-prem, please go patch. But let's move to the second story, which I find even more disturbing because it's already happening. SolarWinds Web Help Desk.
Yes, SolarWinds, a name that carries a lot of baggage in this industry.
It does. And we have 2 vulnerabilities, both rated 9.8. But the headline isn't just the bug, it's the method.
Correct. The BeyondTrust bug, we haven't seen it in the wild yet. It's a potential threat. This SolarWinds flaw is under active attack right now.
And the technique is called living off the land.
Right, living off the land. In a traditional attack, a hacker drops some custom malware, virus.x, and your antivirus spots it.
Simple enough.
But here, the attackers get in and then they install legitimate, digitally signed administrative software.
Legitimate software.
Legitimate. They're using Zoho ManageEngine, Cloudflare tunnels, and this is the real kicker, Velociraptor.
Wait, Velociraptor is an incident response tool? That's what the good guys use to hunt hackers?
Exactly. It's an advanced digital forensics tool. It gives you deep visibility into endpoints. By installing it, the attackers are basically becoming the system administrators.
That is incredibly devious. If I'm a security analyst looking at my logs, I see velociraptor.exe running, I might just think, oh, the IR team is doing an audit.
You wouldn't even blink. You'd probably whitelist it. And they're also using VS Code.
Microsoft's code editor.
Wow.
I have it on my laptop right now.
Because it's a signed Microsoft binary. It's trusted. But it has a built-in terminal. It can run scripts. It can tunnel traffic. If you use VS Code as your command and control, the firewall just sees traffic going to Microsoft and lets it right through.
So they are turning our own development and forensic tools against us. This makes detection a nightmare. How do you tell the difference between a legit admin and a hacker using the same tool?
You can't rely on file signatures anymore. The file is legitimate. You have to look at behavior. Why is the help desk server suddenly launching VS Code at 3:00 a.m.? Why is it piping data to an unknown IP?
It moves the goalposts from what is running to what is it doing.
And that is a much, much harder question to answer at scale. This is why we say trust is broken. We trusted the software signature, and that trust was weaponized.
And this theme of broken trust is the perfect bridge to our final segment. We've gone from consumer trust with VPNs to enterprise trust with these admin tools. Now let's look at the nation-state level.
A macro view.
Europe is making this massive pivot towards something called sovereign cloud. The numbers are just huge.
It's an incredibly aggressive shift. Projections show spending on European sovereign cloud infrastructure, that's IS, is going to jump from about $6.7 billion in 2025 to over $23.1 billion by 2027.
23 billion. That's not pocket change. And the growth rate is double that of North America or China.
And by 2027, Europe is expected to actually outspend North America in this specific sector.
So we need to define our terms here. Sovereign cloud, what does that actually mean? Is it just a data center built in Germany?
It's more than just geography. There's data residency, which means the data sits on a hard drive in Frankfurt. That's the easy part. But data sovereignty means the data is subject only to the laws of that country.
And this is where the tension lies, right?
Exactly. If a German bank stores data on AWS, even if the server is physically in Berlin, there's a legal gray area. The U.S. Cloud Act allows American law enforcement to compel U.S. tech companies to hand over data no matter where it is in the world.
And that terrifies European regulators.
It keeps them up at night. They want tech sovereignty. They want to ensure European data health records, government communications is immune to foreign subpoenas, whether from the U.S. or from, say, Chinese vendors.
So they're building a fortress.
Yeah.
But is that even realistic? The hyperscalers, AWS, Google, Azure, are decades ahead. Can Europe just build their own from scratch?
That is the $23 billion question. And Gartner put out a bit of a reality check on this. They predict that despite all this spending, only about 20% of current workloads will actually shift.
Only 20%. That seems incredibly low for that amount of money.
It really highlights how sticky the cloud is. You don't just move a server. You're tangled in proprietary APIs, serverless functions, AI toolchains. If you built your entire banking app on AWS Lambda, you can't just drag and drop it to a French provider. You have to rebuild it.
It's vendor lock-in on a continental scale.
Exactly. So what we're going to see isn't some complete exodus. It's going to be a messy, expensive hybrid era. The hyperscalers are smart. They'll adapt. They'll partner with local European companies to create air-gapped versions of their clouds where the keys are held by Europeans.
So the tech might still be American, but the keys to the castle are held locally.
That's the compromise. But the drive for this is absolutely real. It's fueled by AI, cybersecurity fears, and this deep anxiety that relying on foreign powers for critical infrastructure is a strategic weakness.
It really does all connect. We started with the consumer checking a URL, hoping it's real. We moved to a company hoping its software isn't a backdoor. And we end with nations spending billions because they can't verify if their data is truly theirs.
We are in a crisis of verification. That's the headline. Whether it's a typo in a URL or a geopolitical treaty, everyone is scrambling to figure out who is actually on the other end of this connection.
And that SolarWinds story really sticks with me. The living off the land technique. It challenges the whole premise of how we do security.
It does. And it poses a really provocative question for the future. If the bad guys are using the exact same tools as the good guys, if they're using VS Code and Velociraptor, how long until we literally cannot distinguish between an administrator doing their job and an intruder who has already taken over?
When the behavior is identical, the distinction just disappears.
And when that happens, trust has to die. We have to move to a model where we verify every single action, every single time. Zero trust isn't a buzzword anymore. It's the only logical conclusion.
A sobering thought to end on, but a necessary one. Stop trusting the tool. Start verifying the action.
And please, patch your BeyondTrust instances. Seriously.
Please do that. Thank you for listening to Calm Coding. Stay skeptical, check your URLs, and we'll see you in the next one.